about 2:10 on Friday, August 14th. We pushed off maybe about 35 minutes ago. We're heading to Chicago. Rich and I took out the afternoon. Probably going to motor sail down, get in about 8:30 or so. We average 5 knots. Tomorrow is the Chicago Air and Water Show, so we want to get down there and be able to anchor off the North Avenue Beach and watch the air show from the water. Should be a cool trip. Winds are kind of light, so we're probably going to need to motor sail the whole way, but that's okay. Right now we got the work jib up, but I'm thinking maybe we can put the Jenny up and gain another half a knot or knot out of that with these light winds. It's 2:25. Just finished changing the work jib out for the Jenny. That got us about a half a knot maybe, which is nice. Right now we're averaging 5.8. Not so bad. Well, it's about 3:05. We're doing about 6 knots for a while here. Motor sailing. We're making good time. The autopilot's having a hard time steering a straight line because when the winds gust, the boat wants to come up a little bit, and the autopilot's a little slow to recover. Then it recovers, and then the wind dies down a little bit, and then it overcorrected. Sometimes it's driving like a drunk sailor, but that's okay. Rich over there taking a nap on the aft seats, just chilling. Well, it's 4 o'clock. We're about 13.5 miles from Waukegan. We're about 4 miles from our first mark, which is off Wilmette. It's a red buoy number 2. Obviously, we're 13 and a half miles closer to Chicago, so you can see that a lot clearer in the distance. We're doing about 6 knots or so, maybe 5.8 to 6 knots average. Well, it's 4:15. We're about 2.5 miles now from our mark off of Wilmette. Chicago's getting larger in the background. So far so good. Looking to the north, we can see that there's the cold front with storms is way up by the Door County area of Wisconsin, heading south towards us. But they're way up there, so hopefully we'll get in without a problem before they come and hit. We're prepared, but it'd be nice not to have to get wet.
Alright, let's see. Arizona for more to visit Wisconsin.
Well, it's 4:45. We just passed the Red Bell WR2 off of Wilmette. We changed course towards Navy Pier, about 171 degrees, magnetic. That's about 12 miles away. We've already gone about 17.5 miles, so we're a little bit more than halfway for our total trip of 33.33 miles. We've been averaging pretty good speeds. Right now we're doing about 5.8 knots. Winds picked up a little bit. It was pretty light there for the last hour, but seems to have picked up a little bit. The Baha'i Temple. Sparkling water. Chicago, Illinois. 15 miles to go. It's 5 o'clock. We're about 10.7 miles from Navy Pier. Obviously, Chicago's getting large in the background there. Well, it's 5:12. The wind's picked up. We're going about 6.3 knots with the engine in neutral. So Rich is going to go kill it now. We'll see how far we can sail. As long as we're maintaining at least 5 knots, I'll be happy. Silence. What time is it? 5:15. We left at 1:15. It's 4 hours of motoring. Now we're doing 6 knots. It's kind of nice. Sure is nice to be under sail finally. Doing about 6.3 knots. Winds keep up, we're going to have to drop the Jenny, put up the work jib. Doing about 6 knots. Winds are gusting a little, and then calming down, gusting. Much, 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 much better than motoring. Well, it's 5:30. The wind died back down. We were only doing about 3.9 to 4 knots. My minimum is 5, so we just turn the engine back on and do some more motor sailing. Well, it's 5:45. Wind picked up again. We were doing about 5.7 to 6 knots. Turn the engine off. Hopefully it'll keep us at least 5 knots for a while. Doing about 5.8 knots. about 5 after 6. Winds died down again a little bit. We're only doing about 4 knots, so we turn the engine back on. We're about 4 3/4 miles from Navy Pier. Once we make the turn past that, we'll be about another 3.5 miles to the 31st Street Marina. About 6:20, breeze picked up again, so we just turned the engine off. What are we doing, about 5.8? 6.1 knots. We're about 3.4 miles from Navy Pier. Well, it's 6:45. The wind died down as we get behind the buildings here. Turn the engine back on. Right now we're about a mile from our turn off at Navy Pier. Maybe about 4.5 miles to the 31st Street Marina. That's 6:52. Just about 0.1 miles off Navy Pier here. About 6:55, the wind's picked up nicely again, so we turn the engine off. About 7 o'clock, we just turned to our final mark, which would be the 31st Street Harbor entrance. So we're 3.1 miles, and we'll get there right around 8:20 at this speed, but we're probably going to turn the engine back on in a couple minutes. Well, it's 7:07, just turn the engine on. We're about 2 3/4 miles from the harbor. Going to go ahead and drop the sails and get ready to get in there. It's been a pretty good day, made good time motor sailing. Well, it's 7:30, we're about 3/4 of a mile from the 31st Street Harbor. Got the sails down. Got the fenders out, got the mooring lines all set. We never did get a slip assignment call from the harbor master, so we have to hopefully get in there before they leave at 8 o'clock, which should not be a problem. Well, it's 7:41. We're just turning into the 31st Street Harbor. That's 8:08. We're all tied up, buttoned up. Looks like there's a storm or lightning coming down the lake now. Don't know if it's coming this way or it's out a little bit further. You can see a little bit of lightning there. We had a good trip.